3 directions for Becky Lynch in WWE now that she's out of the vision. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch is set to defend her title against Maxine Dupri on next week's Raw after a shocking countout loss to her in a non-title match last week, aided and abetted by crooked referee Jessica Kerr. However, it was this past weekend in Perth that her life turned upside down, despite Lynch not even traveling to Australia. On Saturday, her hot husband, Seth Rollins, won the Crown Jewel Championship, finally overcoming his nemesis, Cody Rhodes. However, during the match he suffered a severe arm injury as he landed after delivering a ridiculous coast-to-coast diving headbutt. WWE has not acknowledged the injury yet, and instead, disaster has struck Rollins in kayfabe as well, with the Vision having now turned on their former leader at Braun Breaker's behest on Monday Night Raw this week. Naturally, Becky Lynch is not a member or associate of the group anymore either. She was paired up with her hot husband after years again and initiated the build-up to AJ Lee's WWE return and the mixed tag team match against AJ and CM Punk at WrestlePalooza following her actions at Clash in Paris and on the episode of Raw that followed, and she never actively appeared with the Bronsons. In fact, during this time, Rollins was barely seen alongside Reed and Breakker either. Nevertheless, with Becky Lynch no longer even remotely associated with the Vision and Seth Rollins seemingly set to be off TV for an extended period of time, in this article, we shall discuss 3 possible directions for the man on Raw going forward. As the top heel in the division, as well as the greatest female professional wrestler of all time, it makes perfect sense for Becky Lynch to shoot higher and go after the Women's World Championship once again. The man's quest to become Becky 2 belts, however, would have Stephanie Vaquer standing in her way. A legitimate dream match. La Primera going up against big-time Bex would continue to elevate the former, and Lynch as Vaquer being booked imminently makes sense considering other top heels and babyfaces on Raw are already busy in prominent programs to challenge either woman. While the status of the men's War Games match now remains up in the air given Seth Rollins' injury, there is no reason to put the kibosh on the women's War Games match. Over the following weeks, we could see Becky Lynch align with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, as well as Asuka and Kairi Sane. Lynch could spearhead the heel team with someone like Bayley, perhaps also a possible addition to the team if WWE plans to turn her heel over the course of the next few weeks. Alternatively, the role model could turn out to be the wild card that turns heel inside the unforgiving structure. It could set up a long-term future alliance between Becky and Bayley, 2 of the 4 horsewomen who have traditionally almost always been on opposite sides from one another. After Becky Lynch insulted and put her hands on CM Punk, the night after costing him the World Heavyweight Championship, his wife, WWE icon AJ Lee, returned to WWE after over a decade to take care of big-time Bex. What followed was a highly entertaining build that culminated in an awesome mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza, where Lee made Lynch submit to the Black Widow submission. AJ now has a legitimate claim at a title shot, but unfortunately has not been seen on WWE TV since WrestlePalooza. It hurts writing that name again and again, with her absence left unexplained. While it is clear that AJ Lee won't be competing full-time, and whatever the case reasons may be regarding her current absence, her next program will obviously be against Becky Lynch, and likely for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. If Lee makes her return soon, she will certainly be the next major feud for the man. Becky Lynch's shocking departure from the Vision has sent the WWE universe into a frenzy, sparking massive speculation about what's next for one of the most accomplished and influential superstars in modern wrestling. After months of intense storytelling, betrayals, and shifting alliances, the man now stands alone once again, a position she's been in before, and one where she has always thrived. The Vision's collapse represents a turning point not just for Lynch, but for the entire women's division, which could see major creative changes in the coming weeks. With Triple H steering WWE's new era, Becky's next move will be closely watched by fans and insiders alike, as her star power continues to shape the direction of the company. The first major direction WWE could explore is positioning Becky Lynch for a blockbuster singles feud that redefines her character. Having been part of the Vision for months, Becky could now pivot back to the persona that made her one of WWE's biggest draws, the rebellious, fearless man who took over the industry in 2019. A feud with a dominant heel like Rhea Ripley or Tiffany Stratton could reignite her momentum and remind fans why she remains one of the best storytellers in the business. Ripley, the current powerhouse of WWE, would be the perfect foil for Becky in a story centered around pride, dominance, and leadership. The two have never had a proper one-on-one rivalry on a grand stage, and now, with Becky unaligned, the timing feels right. A Becky vs Rhea showdown could headline any premium live event, especially with WrestleMania season approaching. WWE could even craft a narrative where Lynch vows to expose the Judgment Day's cracks, serving as a lone wolf fighting against a faction that mirrors her past struggles with power and influence. This route would cement Becky's role as a heroic figure who fights for the integrity of the women's division, standing up to oppressive stables and asserting her independence once again. Another direction WWE could take is reuniting Becky Lynch with a surprising ally from her past, creating a storyline that blends nostalgia with modern rivalries. One name that instantly comes to mind is Charlotte Flair. Despite their history of fierce competition and personal tension, both women are now in very different stages of their careers, and a short-term alliance could benefit them both. If WWE chooses to turn Becky slightly heelish again, a reluctant partnership with Charlotte could make for compelling television, showcasing two veterans forced to coexist for mutual goals. This angle could ultimately build toward a dramatic implosion, setting the stage for one final Becky vs Charlotte clash on the grandest stage of them all. Another potential reunion could be with Bianca Belair, as both women share mutual respect and unfinished business. A storyline where Becky and Bianca team up to challenge a dominant women's tag team, perhaps Asuka and Kairi Sane, would give Lynch a fresh direction while keeping her in top-tier programs. This would also give WWE a chance to showcase Becky's versatility, allowing her to balance her star power with collaborative storytelling that elevates others around her. Lastly, WWE could push Becky Lynch into an unpredictable new chapter by aligning her with the men's division in a storyline that blurs traditional boundaries. Given her crossover appeal and charisma, Becky could serve as a special enforcer or mouthpiece for an emerging star who needs a rub from an established name. A partnership with someone like LA Knight, Sami Zayn, or even Seth Rollins could give fans a taste of something different, showing Becky as a mentor figure while still maintaining her edge. WWE has previously teased the idea of intergender involvement without fully committing, and Becky's natural confidence could make her the perfect bridge for that storytelling evolution. Imagine Becky stepping into a mixed tag scenario at a major event, proving once again that she's not just the face of the women's division, but one of WWE's biggest overall attractions. Beyond storyline options, Becky Lynch's creative freedom under Triple A's leadership opens endless possibilities. She's proven time and again that she can reinvent herself when the moment demands it, whether as the man, big-time Bex, or a rebellious leader of the vision. Now that she's free from factional ties, fans can expect a reinvigorated version of Becky Lynch, hungry to reclaim her spot at the very top. Her exit from the vision could even foreshadow the faction's eventual implosion, as members scramble to fill the void she left behind. WWE might use this to showcase new stars while also reminding everyone that Becky's shadow looms large over every woman who steps into the ring. Her ability to blend reality with fiction also means that WWE could subtly reference her outside ventures, from acting to writing, framing her return to solo action as a comeback fueled by rediscovery. The emotional storytelling potential here is immense. A battle-tested warrior rising from disappointment to dominate once more. Whether she's chasing championship gold, feuding with the next generation, or carving a new legacy altogether, Becky Lynch's post-Vision era promises to be one of her most defining yet. With WrestleMania 42 on the horizon, WWE will likely position her in a program that highlights her star quality and storytelling depth. One thing is clear, even without the vision, Becky Lynch doesn't need a faction to stay relevant. She is the vision, the benchmark of women's wrestling excellence and a symbol of resilience that continues to inspire fans around the world.